John Wayne Gacy. He seemed like a regular guy, a friendly face in the Chicago suburbs. He even dressed up as a clown for parties. Pogo the Clown, they called him, bringing smiles to children's faces. No one suspected the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. No one imagined the horrors this man would inflict. Gacy was known for his charm, a hard-working contractor, a man who loved his community. He even participated in local politics. He was the kind of guy you'd invite to a barbecue. He was the kind of guy you'd trust with your kids. But beneath the facade, a monster was growing. A monster who would leave a trail of unimaginable pain and suffering in his wake. Gacy wasn't always a monster. He was a husband, a father. He had a family, a home, a seemingly normal life. But something wasn't right. His past held dark secrets, glimpses of the evil to come, a troubled childhood, a strained relationship with his father. There were signs, whispers of violence and instability. His first marriage ended in divorce. His urges grew darker. He was convicted of sexually assaulting a teenage boy, but he served a mere 18 months. Society, it seemed, had failed to see the monster lurking within. He was released, ready to start over. But the darkness within him had taken root, and it was about to blossom into a terrifying nightmare. The disappearances started slowly. Young boys vanishing without a trace, a missing teenager here, a runaway there. It was the 1970s, a time of social change, and missing teenagers weren't uncommon. But as the months turned into years, the disappearances became impossible to ignore. The families of the missing boys were desperate. The police, however, seemed baffled. There were few leads, fewer clues. The disappearances continued, a macabre pattern emerging. The victims were all young men, often with connections to Gacy. Some had worked for him, others had crossed paths with him in the community. No one suspected the friendly clown, the respected contractor. But the truth, as they say, was far more horrifying. Then came the day the nightmare unraveled. December 11th, 1978. A young man, Robert Peast, went missing. He was last seen with Gacy. The police finally had their suspect. They searched Gacy's home at 8213 West Summerdale Avenue. What they found there shocked the nation. The stench of death hung heavy in the air. The crawl space beneath the house was a tomb. 29 bodies were found, buried like gruesome trophies. 4 more were found in the nearby Des Plaines River. Gacy had lured his victims, often young runaways or those struggling to find their way, to his home. He promised them work, companionship, a sense of belonging. He used their vulnerability against them, trapping them in his web of horror. The trial of John Wayne Gacy was a media spectacle. The nation watched in horror as the details of his crimes were revealed. Gacy, despite overwhelming evidence, pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. He claimed to have multiple personalities, that the murders were committed by a separate entity. The jury didn't buy it. On March 13th, 1980, Gacy was found guilty of 33 counts of murder. He was sentenced to death. He spent 14 years on death row, painting grotesque self-portraits and giving interviews, before finally being executed by lethal injection on May 10th, 1994. The case of John Wayne Gacy sent shockwaves through America. It shattered the illusion that monsters hid in the shadows. It showed that evil could lurk behind the most ordinary of facades. The story of John Wayne Gacy is a chilling reminder that the world can be a dark and dangerous place. But it's also a reminder of the importance of vigilance, of listening to our instincts, and of never taking our safety for granted. The human capacity for evil is real, and it's something we must never forget. If this story has chilled you to the bone, don't turn away. Embrace the darkness, explore the world of true crime, learn about the monsters that walk among us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Zero Hour Files True Crime. Thank you for watching.